You hatch in the heat of a tropical nest. No fanfare, no lullaby, no warm welcome. Just sand in your nostrils, eggshells in your face, and the distant sound of your siblings chirping for help. You're a saltwater crocodile hatchling, barely the size of a sneaker, and everything outside that shell wants a bite. If your mom's nearby, she hears your call. She storms in, digs you out, and lifts you gently in her jaws. Yes, the same jaws that can crush bone. And carries you down to the river. It's terrifying. It's also the safest you'll ever be. Yes, in her jaws, sharp teeth and all. It's not exactly cuddly, but it's better than getting roasted in the sand or eaten by a goanna. If she doesn't make it in time, then congratulations, you just lost the game before you even opened your eyes. Let's say she gets you to the water. Now what? Now you swim. Sort of. You paddle around like a soggy, confused lizard while fish and birds circle overhead. Everything thinks you're lunch. Because you are. Only 1 in 500 croc babies will survive to adulthood. That's not an exaggeration. That's math. You spend your days hiding in reeds, eating insects, and dodging jaws. Your own older cousins will eat you if they get the chance. Survival isn't just hard. It's deeply unfair. Weeks pass. You grow. Slowly, you finally catch a fish, and it feels like winning an Oscar.
And the Oscar goes to...
You drag it to shore, puffing out your tiny chest. And then a monitor lizard shows up and steals it. You hiss. It laughs. You go back to eating bugs. At 1 year old, you're longer, stronger, and still incredibly vulnerable. Your siblings? Most are gone. Snapped up, drowned, starved. You don't ask questions. You just keep moving. You develop a sixth sense for danger. Ripples in the water? Freeze. Shadow from above? Dive. That weird bubble trail? Swim away like your tail's on fire. You're not smart yet, but you're learning the language of fear. Eventually you hit a growth spurt. Your body lengthens, your jaw thickens, and you start getting good at the ambush game. You float motionless in the shallows, only your eyes and nostrils above water. It's not glamorous, but it works. You snag a frog, then a bird, then a fish bigger than your head. For the first time in your life, you're not starving. Now comes the personality shift. As a teen croc, you start feeling territorial. You don't like sharing, not space, not food, not even shade. You hiss at anything that moves, including your own reflection. You get in fights, mostly bluff charges and jaw snaps, but sometimes blood is involved. One bite and you learn fast. Lose a chunk of tail and it doesn't grow back. Your world is a swampy arena. And your job? Stay alive long enough to become something more than prey. You've learned how to be invisible, how to float without a ripple, how to make your stillness feel like dread. You've watched an egret land 2 meters from your nose and snatched it before its feet even hit the water. You don't hunt with speed. You hunt with patience, with silence, with terrifying accuracy. You've mastered the waiting game, and in your world, the one who waits wins. Then there are the humans. They show up with their noisy boats and plastic wrappers and shiny hooks that smell like fish but bite back. You get snagged, hooked through the jaw. You thrash and roll until the line snaps, but the damage is done. Now every time you open your mouth, it hurts. You survive it. You always do. But you learn. You grow smarter. You avoid the shiny things now. You relocate. New bank, new game, same rules. You start developing preferences. That bend in the river with the overhanging log. Favorite ambush spot. That tree stump where the monkeys cross. Gold mine. You're not just surviving now. You're optimizing. And now you start seeing rivals. Bigger crocs. Older crocs. Some are missing limbs. Others are covered in scars. You realize this swamp isn't yours. It never was. It's just your turn in line. You push back. You lunge at a smaller male. You win. Barely. But your confidence grows. You claim a trench. You own it like a boss. You hunt larger now. Deer, monkeys, stray dogs. One night you take down a wild boar in the dark. The splash is instant. The scream, short. Your legend grows. Quick pause. If you've made it this far, through hatchling horror, jungle politics, and near-death fish hook dentistry, then smash that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. It's safer than swimming with crocs. And then, drought. The water level drops, food vanishes, temperatures rise. You spend hours buried in mud to avoid baking alive. Birds pick at your tail. You don't move. Eventually rain returns. The swamp floods. And with it, chaos. New crocs. New fights. New rules. You lose a battle. You limp for weeks. But you heal. And you wait. Because mating season is coming. When it does, everything gets louder. Males bellow, females hiss. You spar with challengers, tail whipping them into submission or dragging them underwater until they give up. You win a duel, then another. You've earned your title. Now, you mate, it's brief, brutal, reptilian. The female lays her eggs in a sand nest. You guard from a distance because she'll bite you if you get too close. And once the eggs hatch, you go back to your trench and pretend you care. Your job's done. Time keeps grinding. Decades pass. You grow slower now, but never stop. You reach 5 meters, then 6. You're a legend. Locals tell stories about you. You've seen floods swallow villages, watched boats sink, dragged cattle into the river while people screamed from shore. You've been shot, stabbed, branded a problem croc. You survived it all. But size comes with cost. You need more food, more space, more luck, and your reflexes, not what they used to be. One day you go after a pig near a riverbank and misjudge the angle. You slip. The pig escapes. You crash headfirst into a tree root and injure your jaw. You can't hunt. You can't feed. And crocs don't do well with weakness. Smaller males challenge you. You lose. You retreat. Eventually you float alone in a shallow pool, waiting for strength that never comes. Mosquitoes buzz. Birds perch on your back. You don't move. Then one night a younger croc finds you. You hiss. He bites. You don't hiss again. So yeah, being born a saltwater crocodile, it sucks. You survive predators, drought, starvation, humans, and still your final fight is with one of your own. And just like that, the cycle resets. Somewhere upstream another egg cracks open, and a new monster takes its first breath. If your life had to play out as a crocodile's, what moment would break you first? Drop it in the comments. We dare you.
This is the saltwater crocodile, the most aggressive and largest living crocodile known to man. Reaching lengths of up to 24 feet and weighing as much as a car, these giants are truly nature's awe-inspiring beasts. With a jaw-crushing force stronger than any other animal on Earth, a single bite can snap a buffalo's neck or crush a human skull. These ancient monsters have a history spanning over 100 million years, making them living dinosaurs, surviving from a time when real monsters roamed our planet. Their eyes, positioned on top of their heads, allow them to stalk their prey while remaining almost completely submerged, turning the water's surface into a suspense-filled unknown. The salty, as it's often called, can explode from the water with shocking speed. In mere seconds, it can close the distance between it and any unsuspecting creature at the water's edge. Tales of these beasts dragging prey into their watery lairs are not uncommon. And while their prehistoric look is fascinating, this is not a creature you'd want to encounter up close.